Do what the will should be the whole of the law. The following derives from some readings on Chinese philosophy, Confucian, and a discussion thread on Facebook with a senior member of the OTO. While these criticisms started as specific to the OTO, they are applicable to any leadership and followership situation. In other words, do not take this as criticism of the OTO, but of a dynamic at play within multiple organizations operating within the modern world. I would like to start with a selection from Mengzi or Mencius, Book 1, Part B, Chapter 6. I apologize in advance for any butchering I do with pronunciation of transliterated Chinese. Mengzi spoke to King Wuzuan of Qi, saying, "If among your majesty's ministers there was one who entrusted his wife and children to a friend, and traveled to the state of Chu, and when he returned, he discovered that his friend had let his wife and children become cold and hungry, how should he deal with him?" The king said, "Abandon him." Mengzi said, "If the sergeant-at-arms is not able to keep order among the scholars, how should one deal with this?" The king said, "Discharge him." Mengzi said, "If the reign within the four borders is not well ordered, then how should one deal with this?" The king turned toward his attendants and changed the topic. The following was from a discussion on the OTO, leadership and how the lack thereof impacts the unfolding of one's will. Occurred on the Thelemic discussion group on Facebook. I apologize in advance for using they as a gender-neutral singular pronoun. However, I do not have permission to use the other party's names and decided to use it to preserve anonymity. So, on the Thelemic discussion group, as often occurs, a discussion came around to the leadership of the OTO. The usual participants were present, and the discussion came down to a comparison of strong leaders or independent sovereign Thelemites. Since or is typically interpreted in such cases as being exclusive, I asked why it needed to be so. A senior member of the OTO, whom I have known for many years, clarified that the exclusive or was inferred by myself. They didn't quite deny that it was an exclusive or. They then asked, how does having any leaders of whatever caliber interfere with us doing our work? Below is my edited and slightly expanded response. Our magical work is our own. The exact details of our work as a vehicle for manifesting our will is our own as well. However, by virtue of our being drawn to and having joined the OTO, the will of the OTO is necessarily a component of our will. The purpose of initiation into a body is to align ourselves with that body, to incorporate that body's goals into our own will. If the leaders fail to unify our strategy, if I may extend the analogy, if they fail to play the part of the HGA for the OTO, then that component of our will is frustrated. Any argument regarding leadership, organizations, and the individual's will that fails to take into a consideration that we are not isolate individuals is inherently flawed. Other people's actions do act upon and modify the expression of our will. If the brain ceases to perform its job, the hands and feet will be hampered. The body may not die, autonomous systems will continue to perform, but effective action is stymied. The hand will still be a hand and may still develop in strength and handness, but the body will be ineffective. Likewise, if the leadership of an organization fails to lead, the members of that body will, by extension, be hampered in their will, which was to, at least in part, manifest the will of the organization they joined. One could argue that the failure of the leadership to lead is, in fact, a betrayal of the membership. Truth is found in the rubble of falsehood. Love is the law. Love under will.